we start, I'd like to introduce myself first. By the way, I am Camille, but you can call me Elle, and I will be one of your step-on guide for today. Together with our coach captain, Sir Adrian, and on behalf of W2 World Travel and Tours, I'd like to welcome you all to Queen City of the South, Cebu City. While we're heading to our first destination, I'd like to take a minute to familiarize you with the area and discuss some brief friendly reminders and safety precautions. First, for your own safety, I am asking you to please remain seated at all times and avoid unnecessary movements, especially when the bus is in motion. Second, please make sure that all your valuable items are all with you, for W2 World Travel and Tours will not be eligible for any losses. Third, we should always have the same time. So, can you synchronize your time to my time? It's 6:30 in the morning. Done? Okay, tourists, as we are about to reach our destination, let me give you some trivia. Do you sometimes wonder why Cebu City is dubbed as the Queen City of the South? It was called the Queen City of the South because of its strategic and economic importance to the country. It is one of the most prosperous cities in the country and sees over 2 million foreign tourists annually. Cebu was called Sugbo or Zubo before it had been colonized by Spanish. Cebu was the trading port that merchants in China, Thai, East Indies, and Arabia Kingdom had visited. For your additional information, Cebu City is the first Spanish settlement in the Philippines and home to oldest surviving Catholic relic. In fact, historians consider the image of the Santo Niño as the oldest surviving Catholic relic in the country. The holy image was a gift of Ferdinand Magellan in 1521 to Hara Humamay. Did you know also that the city holds the biggest and grandest festival in the country? Cebu City is home to the Sinulog Festival. The celebration of this Mardi Gras falls every third week of January. Both religious and cultural activities highlight the month-long celebration. If you didn't know, the Philippines had a Cebuano president. A Cebuano in the name of Sergio Osmeña Sr. once seated the President of the Philippines, born in Cebu City on September 9, 1878. This politician did not just become a president, but also took the position as the fourth President of the Commonwealth of the Philippines. For the famous cuisine of Cebu City is the mouth-watering Cebu Lechon, according to the world-famous chef Anthony Bourdain, referred to Cebu's lechon as the best pig ever. And lastly, the best pasalubong that you can try here in Cebu City is the famous danggit, otap, dried mango, puso, and rosquillos. And now we are approaching our first attraction here in Cebu City. To your left-hand side, you will see a Korean-owned cafe inspired by South Korea's well-known Dongdaemun Design Plaza. The 10,000 Roses Cafe is located in Dayas, Barangay Road, Cordova, Cebu, alongside Lantao Floating Restaurant. This cafe has indoor and outdoor dining areas with modern chairs and tables, LED-powered roses, and a viewing deck surrounded by glass walls, making it an Instagram-worthy location. Also, this cafe is famous for being the first in the Philippines to feature thousands of LED-powered roses. The best time to go here is before sunset until closing time when the roses are illuminated. From here, you can see the skyline of Cebu City and its neighboring cities and municipalities. And now we're heading to our second attraction, passing through Punta Ignacio Road. To your right-hand side, you will see the Mactan Shrine. Mactan Shrine is a popular heritage site here in Lapu-Lapu City. Its rich history is not just well known in the Philippines, but throughout the globe as well. It holds the story of the famous expedition led by Ferdinand Magellan, which was the first to circumnavigate the world. I have a trivia on this attraction. Did you know that this historical spot is where the famous Battle of Mactan was fought between Lapu-Lapu and Ferdinand Magellan? Being a significant place, Cebu government made this place special by establishing a park and erecting facilities and memorial items, including Lapu-Lapu statue and Magellan's Park. You can easily stroll around the shrine through its concrete walkways. Tropical plants and flowers are some of the most obvious and beautiful sights you'll immediately observe. The statue of this local hero is made of bronze, standing on top of bricks and concrete pedestal. Mactan Shrine annually hosts the Kataugan sa Mactan Festival, which depicts the Battle of Mactan with great pageantry. The Spanish ships are represented by canoes and paraded on a river towards the beach. This then culminates in a grand reenactment of Nali. Up next in our itinerary, just across the Mactan Shrine, is the Lapu-Lapu Monument, considered as the Liberty Shrine located at Punta Engaño Road, Lapu-Lapu City. The statue of Lapu-Lapu in Punta Engaño, Cebu Province is a 20-meter-high bronze sculpture of the Philippines, first recognized national hero depicted in full battle gear. It is part of the Mactan Shrine, a park that commemorates the Battle of Mactan in 1521 between the Spanish Armada led by Ferdinand Magellan and the local tribes led by Lapu-Lapu, who resisted the invasion. In fact, it would have taken 4 more decades for Spanish to establish its colony in the Philippines after this historic battle. Let me give you a trivia if who is Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu is regarded as the first Filipino who asserted freedom and independence from foreign rule. In 2017, April 27 was declared as Lapu-Lapu Day for this very reason. Lapu-Lapu's image also appears on the official seals of the Philippine National Police and Bureau of Fire Protection. Lapu-Lapu's memorial statue boasts remarkable realism. His detailed torso, arms, and legs are dirt-type from battle, and his indigenous loincloth seems to flap in the wind as he looks out to the sea. Commissioned by the Town Council in the early 1930s, the statue originally held a bow and arrow pointing in the direction of the municipality hall. We're now here at Marcelo Fernan Bridge, Mandaue City, Cebu, which is one of the longest operating bridges in Cebu. It was first constructed in 1996 and opened in August 1999 with the help of the Japanese government. The bridge was first named Consolacion Bridge after the municipality of Consolacion. It was later renamed Marcelo Fernan in honor of the late Senator Marcelo Fernan, 1999. The Queen City of Cebu has been mirroring the growth of the capital and is growing exponentially. The construction of Marcelo Fernan Bridge was done to address the rising demand of vehicular traffic. The bridge consists of 2 lanes on each side and feature a pedestrian walkway on both sides of the bridge. The bridge is also known as the New Bridge to the locals or the Second Cebu Mactan Bridge. It is currently the longest operating cable-stayed bridge in the Philippines at 1,237 meters long. The bridge crosses the Mactan Channel parallel with Osmeña Bridge to the west. Marcelo Fernan Bridge will soon lose the New Bridge, named and the longest bridge in Cebu, to CC Lex. It is the third and soon to be the longest connecting islands of Cebu and Lapu-Lapu. Now we're going to see the Cebu Provincial Museum, passing through Mariano Jesus Cuenco Avenue. Let me give you a trivia about this street. It is so called then as it is where the blood of hundreds of Cebuano patriots was spilled. General Adolfo Gonzales Montero ordered the killings of members of the KKK and civilians in the aftermath of the Battle of Tres de Abril in 1898. It is the street where Plaza Libertad, now called Plaza Independencia, is situated. The street named in honor of our martyrs of the Revolution was renamed to Mariano Jesus Cuenco Avenue in honor of a distinguished son of Cebu. Looking into your left-hand side is the Cebu Provincial Museum or Museo Sugbo, a one-stop venue for understanding the importance of Cebu to the Philippines' fascinating past. Delve into the influence of the Americans, Chinese, Japanese, and Spanish to Filipino culture. Find exhibitions of everything from antique banknotes and ceramics to guerrilla weapons, medical equipment, and vintage bicycles. The museum opened in 2008 in a building that had housed the Cebu Provincial Jail since 1870. The striking fortress-like structure was designed by the Spanish architect Domingo de Escondrillas. Special exhibitions celebrate some of the Cebu's most famous sons, including one-time senator and public servant Vicente Rama. Glimpse into the life of the Katipunan revolutionary Gregorio Abellana and his son Jovito Abellana, who was an artist, author, and counselor. There's also an interesting display that showcases the evolution of Cebuano journalism via old cameras, newspaper, and printing machines. So are you guys enjoying the tour so far? That's good to hear. So I'll now be passing the platform to your next step on guide, Miss Nika Nobleza. Once again, I am Camille, now signing off.
Good day everyone, my name is Nika Nobleza. I'm your step and guide for your next attraction. I would like to take this opportunity to formally say thank you to our coach, Captain, for bringing you all here safe. So are you all guys excited for your next attraction? Okay, me too. For our next attraction here in Cebu City, To your right-hand side, you will see the home of the first Filipino Bishop of Cebu, the Casa Gorordo Museum. A tour inside this residence is a brief journey into Filipino lifestyle in a particular period between 1860 and 1920. The place presently features noted paintings, museum relics, a courtyard, antique household items, and furniture. The Gorordo house was built in the 1850s and originally owned by Alejandro Reynes y Rosales. It was bought by Isidro Gorordo, a merchant from Basque province of Vizcaya in Spain. Casa Gorordo is a fine example of colonial-era house known locally as Balay Ngatisa, or house with tiled roof. Its architecture with combined native, Spanish, and Chinese influences is unique to the Philippines. This cultural blending of East and West is referred to as mestizo and is defining character of Filipino identity. The Gorordo stated residence in the house in 1862, 3 years after Cebu was reopened to world trade. The house survived two revolutions in the late 1800s and early 900s and the Second World War. Changes in the family's lifestyle as well as Cebuano society and culture are visible in the architecture, spaces, and collections of present-day Casa Gorordo. Yet it has largely retained its distinctive Balay Ngatisa form, making its iconic piece of Cebuano cultural identity. So just wait for a while till we approach our next destination. We're finally here in our 7th attraction. The country's oldest residential homes is the Yap San Diego Ancestral House. The 17th century Yap San Diego Ancestral House in Cebu City is just across the street from the Heritage of Cebu Monument and a few meters away from Colon Street, the oldest street in the Philippines. Chinese merchants built this historic residential home in 1675. Locals believe it to be one of the oldest existing residential structures in the country. It was in the house that the rich and prominent Filipino Chinese lived during the Spanish times. Today, the 3-century-old house serves as museum. You can see a lot of religious images, antique furniture, kitchenware, glassware, paintings, and decorative art passed on through 8 generations of the family. Stepping on the house transport you into different era. The first floor stand on the pebblestone flooring, flanked by walls made of wood and coral stone. Paintings and old portraits adorn the walls. Images of Santo Niño and Virgin Mary stand in one corner, and angel sculpture actuate the wooden ceiling and doors. Next up in our itinerary is the Cebu Cathedral, as it popularly called the ecclesiastical seat of Metro Cebu Archdiocese in the Philippines. It was established as a diocese on August 14, 1595 and elevated as Metropolitan Archdiocese on April 28, 1934, with the Diocese of Dumaguete, Maasin, Tagbilaran, and Talibon as suffrage. Before being raised as primatial church in Cebu, the church was one of the first churches in the Philippines beside the Basilica del Santo Niño, dedicated to Saint Vitalis and built there the fort in April 1565 by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Father Andres de Oreta and Father Diego de Herrera. So time check, it's already 11:30 in the morning and now we are approaching the oldest Catholic church in Cebu, located at Osmeña Boulevard. It was renamed Doña Pepang Avenue on March 29, 1960 by virtue of City Ordinance Number 284 in honor of Sergio Osmeña, first wife Estefania Veloso Osmeña, who died in 1918 at a mansion and estate that they owned along the boulevard. Now, to your right-hand side, you will see our 9th attraction, the Basilica Minor of the Santo Niño de Cebu. The first church was then built in 1566 by Father Diego de Herrera with only wood and nipa. The church houses the image of Santo Niño, the city patron saint that represents Jesus as Black Holy Child. It is also a place for prayer and pilgrimage to a large number of people each year. In 1565, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi called Basilica Minor de Santo Niño as San Agustin Church. The exact location of the church is the spot where Legazpi's Spaniard troop discovered the image of Santo Niño. It was thought to be the gift of Ferdinand Magellan to Queen Juana, the wife of Raja Humabon. as a sign of their allegiance and over the 40 years after their baptism to Christianity. The statue was found in a burnt wooden box left behind during the time of Magellan. Having been able to survive the fire, the Spanish thought it to be a miracle that the image did not turn into ashes. On April 28, 1565, the same day Legazpi and his crew landed on Cebu, Augustinian priest Father Andres de Ordaneta founded the Santo Niño Monastery. The new wooden church was built in 1605 by Father Pedro Torres, but another fire destroyed the church again in 1620. The third church was built that same year by Father Juan Medina, this time using stones and bricks. But the construction did not continue to the lack of materials used. On February 29, 1735, the new constructions of the church was led by a number of people, and finally the present church was finished in 1739. By 1965, Pope Paul XVI converted the church into Basilica Minor. Up next in our itinerary, to your right-hand side, is the most iconic landmark in the whole province of Cebu, the Magellan Cross. Located just across Cebu City Hall, is not just a popular tourist spot, but it's also one of the great religious and historical significance to Cebuanos. It is believed to be a Christian cross planted by the Portuguese and Spanish explorer headed by Ferdinand Magellan. It was planted upon their arrival in Cebu on March 15, 1521. That day also marked the birth of Christianity in the land. The originally cross was believed by the people of old to have miraculous healing power. It is now housed in a small chapel. Rumor says that the original cross was destroyed or disappeared after the death of Magellan. Did you know that the historical accounts tell us that Raja Humabon, along with his wife Reina Juana, and many of their warriors accepted Christianity and were the first Filipinos to be baptized as Christians. In order to celebrate the Roman Catholic faith propagations in the Philippines, Magellan planted a cross in Cebu. So we are now arriving to our 11th attraction here in Pigapetta Street, Cebu City. The oldest and smallest fort in the Philippines is the Fort of San Pedro. It is one of the city's pride, Fort San Pedro, lying in Plaza Independencia in the Pier area of Cebu. The fort holds a rich history of the island and the historical events during the Spanish rule. This military defense structure got its name from Spanish flagship San Pedro. The flagship brought Spanish conquistador Miguel de Lopez de Legazpi to the Philippine shores. It was built by Spaniards under the command of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first governor of Captaincy General of the Philippines. The original fort built right after the arrival of Legazpi, and this expedition was made of wood. It was then replaced in the 17th century with a stone fort to repel Muslim raiders. Now we are passing through the oldest national road in the Philippines. It was built in 1565 during the Spanish colonial period. Did you know that it got its name from Cristobal Colon, who is more widely known as Christopher Columbus? Under the leadership of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the street was developed and became the center of commercialization in Cebu. Colon was where the first few business establishments like movie houses, fashion shops, and offices were built in Cebu. It was also where the social events were mainly held. Universities were built near Colon Street as well, such as University of San Carlos, the University of Cebu, and the University of San Jose Recoletos. The charm of Colon was never lost and forgotten when it comes to bargain shopping and quality service. It has now become the go-to place for shoppers who are in search for good value for money. Shops along Collins Street are now known for locally quality goods sold at cheap prices like jewelry and ready-to-wear clothes. Did you guys enjoy our tour today? Okay, me too. Again, my name is Nika Noblesa, your step-on guide. For the remaining attraction, there will be the last step-on guide, and that is Miss Catherine Castilla, who will give you a remarkable information. Thank you everyone. Have a safe trip to your next destination. Bye!
Everybody, may I have your attention please? People at the back, do you hear me? Welcome, my dear tourists. Is everyone excited about today's trip? Yes, I know so. But before anything else, let me introduce myself. I am Catherine Castillo, or simply call me Kat, one of your step-on guide for the next attractions. So time check, it's already 2 in the afternoon. In a few minutes, we'll reach our next attraction, which is the oldest school in the Philippines, University of San Carlos, or USC, is a Catholic educational institution administered since 1935 by Society of the Divine World Missionaries. University of San Carlos was formerly known as Colegio de San Ildefonso. The school closed in 1769 following the expulsion of Jesus Christ from the Philippines and was reopened in 1783 as Colegio Seminary de San Carlos, which operated until the Colegio split from the seminary in 1930. Following another brief closure during World War II, Colegio de San Carlos reopened in 1945 and became a university in 1948. And now, I welcome you to our 14th attractions here in Cebu City, one of the most visited non-Catholic shrines in Cebu, the Cebu Taos Temple. It was built in 1972 by the Chinese community of Cebu City, located in Beverly Hills subdivision, adorned with dragon statues and intricately beautiful architecture. The Cebu Taos Temple is one of the most visited spots in Cebu City. Situated on the top of the hill, this temple was built in 1972 by the Chinese community in Cebu. The Taoist Temple is the center of worship for Taoism, the religion which follows the teachings of the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. In the temple, devotees perform rituals. One rituals where one prays to the god to grant one's wish. Another rituals among the devotees is the climbing of its 181 steps, which represents the 81 chapters of Taoism scriptures, and lighting justice sticks and having their fortunes be read by the monks. In Taoism, green dragons symbolize good fortune and energy. It also allows one person to reintegrate with his or her spiritual life. That's why in Taoist temple, you will see a lot of dragon statues. The colors around the temple are also more on red and green, with their roofs having a pagoda-like design. And now we're heading on one of Cebu's top cultural and historical sites worth adding to your itinerary here in Cebu City, the Temple of Leia. The Temple of Leia is located in Barangay Busay in Cebu City. The story of Temple of Leia is the same as Taj Mahal, as mausoleum in India built a symbol of undying love. Temple of Leia is Teodorico Soriano Adarna's gesture of love to his late wife, Leia Albino Adarna, a life partner for 53 years. This Roman-inspired edifice showcases not only a labyrinthine and sophisticated architecture, but also an outstanding view of the whole city. There is also an art gallery and museum that features books and other valuable collectibles of Filipina actress Ellen Adarna and owner of motel chain Queensland in Cebu. This place is perfect for picture taking, especially in prenuptial and other theme occasions. The huge lions in other entrance and enormous pillars, the statue of angels, the fountain in middle of with naked woman and magnificent staircase truly can give a touch of the ancient Rome architecture. So time check, it's already 4:30 in the afternoon. In just a few minutes, we'll reach our next attraction, an observatory deck and a picnic place overlooking city of Cebu, Mandaue and Mactan Island. Known for its height at 2,000 feet above sea level, you will see the so-called Taps Lookout. Taps Lookout is a place for relaxation and peace. On top of the mountain, an interesting concrete fortress-like structure can be found where small stores, bars, and cafes are located. There are small benches around the deck where tourists can relax and breathe in all nature's glory. It is located in mountains of Busay. It sure offers a cold temperature. It is a perfect place to watch the sunrise and sunset. At night, the place turns into a magical scene with the city lights as in the background. For our last and final designated destination in our itinerary, we're going to depart from Taps Lookout to Sierra Flowers Garden. On your left-hand side, you will see the Sierra Flowers Garden, or so-called Mini Amsterdam. It is attracting tourists from all over the country and even foreigners. It is the famous Sierra Flowers farm located on a mountain, and it's all started when a couple planted flowering plants to be harvested and sold on All Souls Day. They then noticed that their garden is attracting visitors, so that they decided not to cut them at all. The incursions of tourists encouraged them to plant more. The more plants and flower in the garden meant more visitors too. Since tulips and hyacinths are hard to grow in a hot climate, celosia flowers are grown in Serang Flowers Farm instead. These flowers are as colorful and attractive as the tulips. Celosia is the main flower grown in Serang Flower Farm. This flower is considered to be a genus of edible and ornamental plants of the amaranth family. Aside from the celosias, other variety of flowers are grown in the farm. Flowers like sunflower, chrysanthemum, daisy, and aster are among the flowers that are planted there. These are the flowers provide the perfect edge for picture taking. Now we're going to be pulling up to the hotel in just a few minutes. Please sit back and enjoy the view on the left-hand side of the bus as you enter the city. I ask that you remain in your seats until we have come to a complete stop. Camille will be meeting us at the bus to help you with your bags. Please double-check your seats to make sure that your bag has taken off the bus. On behalf of W Tour Travel and Tour, have a wonderful vacation in Cebu. Again, I am your tourist guide, Catherine, believing that travel is not a reward for working. It's education for living. I hope you have gained some information with us, and I look forward to being of service to you again. I'm Catherine, your step-on guide, now signing off.